going on? What's going on, folks? Happy Thursday to you. Welcome to the Pro Fan Talk. And let me kill this music. How do I kill the music? There we go. Huh. We'll kill it. But it's all good. What's going on, folks? Happy Thursday to you. We are back again. And little different location, but we doing the same thing. Glad everybody can make it. I see the streams pouring in. What up, Cody K? I appreciate you. Trying to see what's going down. We are still in the aftermath of the Jason Kelce retirement. And that was a rough one. That was probably the most emotional speech that I have seen since probably Michael Irvin Hall of Fame speech. If you've never seen that, watch it. And I'm saying that, and I am not a particularly big Michael Irvin fan. I like his since he retired, but when he was with the Cowboys, nah. But that speech, that Michael Irvin speech was something. But what Jason Kelce did, you just can't duplicate that, man. Everybody's going to be doing the same thing, man. Everybody's going to be doing the same thing. So we'll see. Let me see. How can we do this? There we go. I see my boy Vince is in the house. Cody K is here as usual. And we're going to get it on and pop it. I'm seeing people. I'm doing Instagram. I haven't figured out how to do IG Live through StreamYard yet. So you know what? I just set up my other phone and just going live. So I'm seeing people. I see Ken Dunnick. I see the X-Man. I see Fam Tories in the building. What the business. That's funny. But we're going to keep it on and popping and moving. If you are on mobile and you can join on YouTube, please join on YouTube. So, but however you can get it, go ahead and get it. And we're going to keep it moving. But like I was saying, the whole situation with Kelce, he shut the world down, man. I didn't, like you knew he was big and you knew how popular he was around the league and things of that nature, but he pretty much brought media to a standstill. Everybody was watching that speech. Everybody was watching it. And this whole week, it's all about reactions, People, I've seen people on podcasts that have nothing to do with football, probably have never watched football, but Jason Kelce is such a personality that he demands that attention. Jason Kelce, with everything that was going on with his family, with his brother, Taylor Swift, all of that, you lump all of that stuff in the same bowl, right? They were moving the needle, whether you liked it or not, whether you liked the Kelce show that was on Netflix or whatever it was, whether you liked the whole Travis Kelce and Taylor Swift thing, whether you got sick of them showing them at the football games and all that kind of stuff, they were moving the needle. This year, the NFL had more people that did not normally watch football than ever before. And they got to think the whole Kelce thing and Taylor Swift, it all goes together in my book. It all goes together. So, very emotional speech. Thanked a lot of people. He even mentioned somebody that I knew personally. He mentioned a guy named Dr. Colosimo at the University of Cincinnati. Dr. Colosimo was the guy that if you messed up your knee, he was the guy that you go to. So basically, he was the guy you really didn't want to see because that means you had to have surgery. But he was the head guy who would go back and forth between Eastern Kentucky. Then he would go up to UK. He probably went down to Louisville too. And then he left and took that head gig, I believe, at University of Cincinnati. So it was fun to just hear his name called and like, hey, 6 degrees of separation. That's somebody that he knows and had a relationship. And I knew and had a relationship with. So that was actually kind of cool for me. But yeah, man, just watching him shut it down, watching him walk away. And I was talking earlier today about the fact that he walked away. That's a big deal. He walked away. that means, he didn't get tripped up with the injuries and all of that kind of stuff. And he could have. You look at what Jason Peters is going through. Jason Peters struggling to stay on the team. I don't know if he's going to call it quits officially now, but he ended up going to Seattle. He went down to Dallas. Couldn't stay on the field, man. He was when he was still kind of at the end of his prime, he still couldn't. Heck, wasn't it the Super Bowl year where he tore his knee in? So, he's going to be one of those situations where the game is going to spit him out. Where a couple years down the line, is he going to have trouble walking? Is he going to have hip problems? Like things like that. I always remember, I got to find that thing, man. I got to find it. And I mentioned it before. It was a while ago, years ago. It was on ESPN, I believe. And they were kind of profiling the Fridge, William Refrigerator Perry. I played with the Fridge. He was with the Eagles in 93. Obviously, it was at the end of his career. It was way past the Super Bowl shuffle with the Bears and all of that kind of stuff. And he was loud, obnoxious. He was really cool. He was a cool dude. But I could just imagine what his personality was when he was in his prime. You know what I'm saying? He was fun to be around. Hard not to like that dude. But you could tell he was very squat. He was extremely wide. He was strong as an ox, though. And even though he was kind of, he was a little bit slow, once he dug in, you wasn't moving him. So he was still a solid nose guard because you stick him over the center, you got to double team him. He was hard to move. But after his career was ended, I remember seeing this story, and he was having trouble moving around. Knees was bad, hips was bad, all of that kind of stuff, man. And it was just, to me, that was a sobering example of what happens when the game spits you out. That's what that means. So it was very, that was hard to watch. And I always think of, I look at people like Andre Whitworth, Jason Kelce, Anthony Munoz, all of these guys that played in the league, especially played at offensive line. Offensive line and defensive line, they take the most damage without question. They banging every play. I'm a running back. I get the ball. You might catch me or you might not. I'll take a hit from a DB anywhere between 190 to 200 pounds. But when you got them big boys laying on you every play, that adds up. That adds up. So happy he was able to walk away from the game, man. So, what the business is asking me, how do I feel about Maddox on IG? Bow 316. What's going on, man? Maddox was a necessary evil. I kind of hoped they would keep him, but I knew I know what the deal is. He was hold on. What was his cap? I just looked this up. He was dang it, is gone. He was about to take a $9 million hit. He was going to be a $9 million cap hit. So it made sense to get rid of him. He'll get picked up by somebody else, but it will definitely be at a lower price. Definitely. So we had to do what we had to do. So it's looking like you got Keely Ringo. Are they keeping Eli Ricks? I'm not sure about Eli Ricks, but you got Sidney Brown on the men. You still got Reed Blankenship back there. You still got Slay and Bradbury back there. Now, Bradbury is interesting because they're going to have to just eat that money. So Bradbury is going to be probably one of the most expensive bench players, or and there is a very strong possibility that this can happen, or Fangio could turn him around. And I always use the example, if y'all remember, when Nnamdi Asomugha came here and he got paid. He was a great player in Oakland, but when he got here, Our system just did not fit his skill set at all. And he looked hard. It looked like the biggest waste of money. But I remember watching him in Oakland, and he was good in Oakland. And he got his bag and got his money. But the scheme just did not fit him. And it looked like we just basically wasted our money. Now, what does that mean for Bradbury? What I'm hoping is that half of Bradbury's play was because of the whole defensive thing. Now, even by my own criticisms, Bradbury looked like he was running an oatmeal last year. I don't know if he had something going on. I don't know if his skills have just diminished that quickly, because normally, you get on a steady decline when you get older. He went off a cliff because 2022 was a solid year for him. He was a good secondary player our Super Bowl run, without a doubt. He was legit. He was worth the money that we paid for him. Now, you got to remember the circumstances with all of that. The circumstances was they were offering C.J. Gardner-Johnson, trying to figure out what he was going to do, because they hadn't re-signed Bradbury and they hadn't re-signed Slay. And if you remember, Slay was packing. His wife was on Twitter and saying she had a great time and loved Philly and blah, blah, blah. And it's been real and on to the next adventure. They was doing the whole thing. They were packing. They thought they were gone. And then when C.J. Gardner-Johnson fell through, when that deal fell through, all of a sudden, Bradbury gets money, Slay gets money. Now, Slay played relatively well. Everybody on the defense was hot garbage last year, basically. But if I'm trying to choose between Slay and Bradbury, I'm going Slay all day. Regardless of how annoying he is and how he doesn't, talking about Philly fans and all that kind of stuff. We got to get into that too. His comments on the Philly fans. Because let me be honest with you, he ain't tell no lies. But still, you got to, suck it up, buttercup. But it was, I would rather take Slay than Bradbury. What Bradbury is going to do next year, I have no idea. What I am hoping, I know he's 30, about to be 31. I just hope he gets in the lab, gets with Fangio, and I just need him to be adequate. I just need him to be average. That's it. He was well below average last year. He does not have to be an all-pro. All he needs to be is average. That's it. If he has to take a step back so one of these young guns can get in and do their thing, so be it. Be that wily veteran that gets in somebody's ear and shows them what to do, how to get to the next level, everything that comes with that. You gotta be able to take on that role. You're getting paid the money anyways. So you got to do what you got to do. So, yeah, Bradbury, I just, I don't know what they were going to do. I see my boy Trainer Trey is in the building. Shout out to Explosive Fitness up there in Cherry Hill. Appreciate you, Trey. But yeah, man, Bradbury, it was bad. Like I said, his skill set fell off a cliff. I don't know what happened, but as bad as our defense was, he was the worst of it. Let me say it like that. Now, the other part of that is you don't last in the league as long as he has and be garbage. You don't. Unless you just strictly a special teams player or something like that. But again, Bradbury was putting in quality minutes in 22. And something happened. I don't know. I would like to say it was the whole Desai and Patricia thing, but I'm not buying that. Because the first half of the year when we were, managing to get through some of them close games, Bradbury was still bad. We were still complaining about him. So I'm not sure what it was, but I just hope that he can, over the summer, he'll look at some film and have a good self-reflection and be able to turn this thing around so he's at least adequate. That's all I'm asking. Just be adequate. You know what I mean? So, so we'll see. We'll see. But anybody else trying to? Let me see. So yeah, man, it is what it is with him. I want to see what Howie, because this is Howie season, you know, and we got to figure out the free agents we're going to get, because um, right now this is the big story everybody's looking at: DeAndre Swift and Saquon Barkley. Me personally, I would rather keep Swift. I would rather keep Swift. We talked all of that smack about what we could do if we got a running back that could catch and this, that, blah, 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 blah. And then we got one. He was as advertised, and we didn't even throw him the friggin' ball. We just talked about it. We didn't get a screen game going. None of that. If any of the guys on offense is the one you should have put in motion to create space and mismatches, it was DeAndre Swift. And we didn't even do that. So I don't know if I want to blame that on Brian Johnson. I don't know if that's, Sirianni. I don't know whose fault that is. But when you have, I always look at it as a chessboard. When you on your chessboard and you got extra queens on the board, use them. That's the most powerful piece. And we just 2 years in a row, 2 friggin' years in a row, we wasted our running back. And in spite of, they still got 1,000 yards. Both of them. Miles Sanders, DeAndre Swift. Y'all already know, I was a big Miles Sanders fan. I always thought Miles Sanders was misused again. And we did the exact same daggone thing with DeAndre Swift. At least they consistent. You know what I'm saying? But it was crazy, man. Cody K, I personally want Swift and Henry, but that's a pipe dream. But Saquon would be great to have too. See, I'm not big. The only thing I like about Saquon is his size. I didn't realize Saquon was 6 foot. They both basically weigh almost the same, but I didn't know Saquon was 6 foot, because Swift is like 5'9", 5'10", about 215. Saquon is 6 foot 215, 220. So as far as pass blocking and stuff like that, I think Saquon is a little bit more durable. But even somebody that turns into a negative for Saquon, because Saquon at his size was always getting hurt, always getting dinged up. And it was killing us. He was always getting dinged up. So it was if you look, came out in 18, 16 games, 13 games, 2 games, 13 games. 22, he played a full season. And then last year, he missed 2 games, 3 games. So he's gotten better the last couple of years, but he still gets dinged up. You know what I'm saying? So I like Swift. I like having a guy in-house, knows what to expect. He's from Philly. And I'm biased. Being a running back, I want to see the hometown kid make his paper here. I want to see that. I want to see them take care of him like they take care of Kelce. You know what I mean? It's not going to be the same, but still, you got a homegrown kid. Same thing with Hassan Reddick. Keep the homeboys at home. You got 2 all-pro players. Why we got to let them leave? DeAndre Swift is going to make out better monetarily probably than Saquon. Or I should say that we could probably get a better deal for Saquon if he stays. But we'll see what happens. I don't think it's a bad option either way. But with Saquon, that could turn real quick, because Saquon will be just killing folks on the field and then get hurt, and then it's all out the door. You know what I'm saying? So I don't know what's going to happen. Williams said, This is William Clemfer. Hold on, Will. I don't think we're getting Swift back one bit. I think it's all a setup. It's all set up. The Philadelphia Eagles tried to get Derrick Henry last year in the trade. I think they can make room to get Derrick Henry and C.J. Gardner-Johnson and all that. It's about signing Devontae Smith to a long-term deal. I didn't think about it like that. I see what you're saying. We'll see. I don't want Derrick Henry, but I can't even say that anymore. I got to be careful because I can't put my opinions on last year on this coaching staff because I don't know what Kellen Moore is going to do. I am going to trust that he knows how to put people in motion. I'm going to trust that Kellen Moore knows how to insert a hot package. I am going to trust that Kellen Moore knows how to run running back screens. And I'm going to trust and pray that this man does not like bubble screens. But we'll see. You can hit a bubble screen every now and then, but we just got stupid with it. I think they're keeping Graham because Graham said last year that he wanted to stay in Philly, retire in Philly. So rest assured that Brandon Graham is giving a hometown discount to the Eagles. So they're going to take care of him. They're going to probably give him some type of signing bonus, give him a couple mil to sign, and then give him his veterans minimum. So it'll be minimal against the cap. And they're going to keep him because, I'm a fan of BG. Yes, he was on the pitch count last year, but every now and then he would sneak in and make something happen. So I ain't got no problem with that whatsoever. I ain't got no problem with that. He's earned it. And we'll see what's going to happen. Plus, I need somebody to stay in Nolan Smith's ear because we still don't know what's going to happen with Hassan Reddick. So, I don't know. Let me see. What do you say? The reason I like Derrick Henry is because I remember when we had LeGarrette Blount, another running back, Jordan. I forget was it Randy Jordan? I know who you're talking about, though. I forget the last name, but power back with the offensive line, and you would be able to open up Jalen Hurts kits and running goals. I agree wholeheartedly. I agree with you 100%. However, I think we have that here. We already got that with Swift. Plus, Swift is shifty. Swift showed you last year he can be dangerous inside the tackle and outside the tackle. The problem was they kept trying to force him inside, running from gun formation. Please don't get me started on that mess again. Please. Running the running back like DeAndre Swift out of gun formation is malpractice. Yes, you can do it a little bit, a few times, but you don't make that your bread and butter when you got that type of runner. Runners like that, quick, fast, outrun, explosive, you do not want to make him go east and west. You don't do that. Get that boy going downhill and let him shake somebody. Let him break somebody's ankles and get to the second level. Then you set up play action. Then you set up RPO. Then you set up hot route. You can set up all of that kind of stuff. It's all on how you want to do it. And we didn't have the offensive mindset to get it done last year, as best as I can tell. So there's a lot of pressure on, not even the right word, because ultimately Kellen Moore is going to get a job somewhere else. We might be renting him for a year, which I even hate to say that because that means Jalen Hurts is going to have to learn another offense. But my point is, this might be a stepping stone for Kellen Moore. Who knows? But at least I think he's got enough wherewithal to understand the pieces he has on the page. When he was with San Diego, he had no defense. Now, well, we didn't have a defense last year, so maybe he's in the same spot. But I got to think that Fangio is going to put something together. I got to be positive when it comes to that. You know what I'm saying? So, yeah, man, there's no outside zone, gun formation, man. It's just, yeah. That's just right, square peg round hole, man. It just doesn't work. Just doesn't work. Yo, I see my guy from RCL Studios, man. What's going on, dude? You shot my grandson's wedding. I appreciate you, bro. Appreciate you tuning in. But yeah, man, you gotta that irked me to no end last year. What's up, King Vincere? I just hope he takes advantage of what we have. And I think we got so jaded on what happened and how it ended last year. I'm not that pessimistic. I'm expecting the Eagles to go to the playoffs next year. I am not worried that Kelce is not here anymore. That does not bother me in the least bit. Y'all forget, Cam Jurgens was handpicked by Stoutland and Kelce. So they did their homework. They knew what they were looking for, and they handpicked that dude. And Cam Jurgens is no joke. Cam Jurgens is ready to play last year. In my opinion, Cam Jurgens could have played his rookie year. That's just my opinion. But what I'm saying is, Cam Jurgens is ready to play. Put in beef jerky and let him roll out with it. He's ready to rock and roll. What you are going to miss with Jason Kelce is you are going to miss that leadership. That's what you're going to miss. The leadership, the leader, he was unquestionably the de facto leader in that locker room. You had other people around him, BG and Fletch and others like that. But in my opinion, just based on how it looked and the optics of it, Jason Kelce was the leader of that locker room. Don't get it twisted. Just go back and look when we went to the Super Bowl last year. Who was speaking, what was said, who are you listening to? And I saw a couple articles talking about, who's going to be the leader next year. And the one thing you got to remember in the locker room, once the personalities clash and that battle has taken place, the cream was always going to rise to the top. It is not hard to find your leaders in a locker room. They are very easy to tell who's who. You could be the best player on the team, but will people follow you, or will people give you that confidence, or will people trust you? All of that stuff shakes out on its own. You ain't got to hope somebody's the leader. You ain't got to put a C on somebody's chest. None of that kind of stuff. They only do that with quarterbacks. Because I guarantee you, there's a lot of quarterbacks that shouldn't have a C on their chest. For real. They don't deserve it. But personalities come out the more you go through camp, the more you experience, the more games you play, when you sit in a film session and y'all joking on each other's mistakes and stuff like that. The relationship gets built during the year, and you will naturally, by osmosis, you will figure out who the leaders of the team are. And out of those leaders, because there will be some leaders that are on special teams, there will be some leaders that are not starters, but in that group of leaders that are in your locker room, there will be 2, 3, or 4 of them that are starters, that are all-pro players. There'll be a couple of them in there. And those are the guys that'll rise to the top. Those are the guys that after every game, there's a million people at that locker room trying to get an interview. That's why you had Kelce. That's why you had Fletch. That's why you had AJ. That's why you had Jalen. For as much as people complain about Jalen's personality and him not talking much, guess what? Every time that man played a game, it was 8 million people at his locker room trying to get a quote. So all of that nonsense and the BS they put out there about his personality and wanting to change, and Flex wasn't happy with it and all of that kind of stuff, like, man, get up out of here, man. Y'all don't understand how it works in the locker room. Fletcher Cox is not going up to Jalen Hurts talking about, I think we need to talk about your personality. That ain't happening, man. You get it done on the field. You joke with each other. Y'all have some conversations. That conversation will probably had either over the phone or when y'all was out bowling, eating pizza somewhere or something. Because that same Jalen Hurts that was quiet, stoic, and all of that kind of stuff is the same dude that would come out before every game. Everybody would gather around. He would give his speech, get everybody hyped up, dap it up, family on 3. That's the same dude. Some of these people that write this stuff have never been in a locker room, and it is so easy to tell. So easy to tell. Because the stuff that they say just doesn't make any sense. None. Because if you've been on a team, if you've been in the locker room in any sport, you'll understand what I'm talking about. You already know who the leaders of the team are. You already know, regardless of what happens on the field, there's always a couple of guys that everybody wants to talk to. There's always a couple of guys or one guy that always has the right joke at the right. There's always a comedian. There's always a serious guy. There's always a rah-rah guy. There's always a guy that's always yelling. You got all of them personalities, and it is a balance. Everybody works together because that rah-rah guy is making plays. That guy that's always yelling and super serious, he's making plays. The guy that's joking, he's making plays. So it all ends up working together. So when you hear all of that talk about personality and unapproachable and all, I'm like, man, get up out of here with that stuff. It didn't pass the sniff test as soon as I heard it. At least not mine anyway. But people want to run with that stuff, man, and just like I encourage anybody, man, find you somebody to watch, be it YouTube, on TV, whatever. Find somebody that played the game. Find somebody that played football. I even like watching the dudes on the Pat McAfee show. I forget what the dude's name is. He was an offensive lineman. And he starts breaking down plays and he starts telling you, like, hey, this guy missed the block, but it wasn't his fault. It was his fault. It was the center's fault. He made the wrong call because he read the wrong defense, because the defense was disguised and the linebacker dropped out at the snap of the ball. And it was like they can explain all of that stuff that the broadcast just totally misses. So find somebody that you can listen to that understands the game, studies the game, and watches film. I always tell everybody, Baldy, Greg Cosell, Seth, Barrett Brooks, they watch tape. They watch game film, all 22, NFL.com, whatever it is they're doing, they are watching game footage and recognizing the mistakes. Everybody else is just talking and guessing. I saw the thing with Greg Cosell this morning. I think he must have shot it yesterday, but they were talking about what's the boy from Michigan that's getting all the hype? Bow. That's my dude, man. JT O'Sullivan. I was trying to get him on the show. Because I would go back and forth with him in the comments, and he was responding to me. And I was trying to get him on the show. And as soon as we started like having real conversations, his channel blew up. It just blew up. I think they mentioned him on Good Morning Football or something like that. He was on one of these shows, and all of a sudden his channel just blew up. And I was like, there goes the rest of his little free time. But yeah, JT O'Sullivan is real good, man. He gives you a real deal look at what these quarterbacks are dealing with. But yeah, man, you got to find somebody that watches tape, bro. I love JT, man. That's a good call, Val. Very good call. RSW0387. I remind you of Deuce Staley right now. Yes, I was a running back. How'd you pick Deuce, man? Deuce was not somebody I would think. It's funny. I was looking at all of the combine footage, and I went back and I actually found my combine results. Yep, I found my combine results. I wish I could. I can't bring them up, kind of. Nah, I gotta figure out a way to do that where I can just look at Let me see if I can bring it up. I found it was better than I thought it was. I can't even remember where I put it. Daggone it. I had I ran a 4.62 40-yard dash. I had all of the stuff. I was surprised that they still had the information up. Let me see if I can find it real quick. Hold on. I can't remember where I put it. Nah, I can't find it. I'm gonna have to find it. I'm gonna find it again, and then I might post it next week. But yeah, I think I ran a 4.62 40, and then when I had my pro day at EKU, I ran a 4.48. It was Dan Shonka. At the time, he was a scout for the Dolphins. He came up and worked me out. Dan Shonka. Yep. I ran a 4.48. I was getting ready for pin relays because I ran track my senior year at Eastern to get ready for the combine and stuff. So, but yeah, that was fun, man. How about Ertz? Desperate move to the Commanders. X-Man, listen, the Ertz thing I thought was odd because I saw a whole bunch of people looking at him like Donovan. But I'm looking at it more like Jason Peters. Like, why are you still hanging on? You know what I mean? Is he going to be in a situation where they spit him out too? But hey, go till you ready to go. If the game spits you out and that was your wish, so be it, man. So be it. So hopefully we'll have a little bit better coverage. But you already know he'll get a nice ovation when he comes here. So it is what it is. A little bit closer to home. So, I don't really think nothing of it. Did he even have – how good of a year did he have last year? I don't players. Let me see. He was in Arizona, right? Zach Ertz. What did he do last year? Arizona Cardinals stats. What did Zach Ertz do last year? He got hurt. He played 7 games. Yeah. Yep. 2021 with last year with the Eagles, 6 games. 2021 with the first year with the Cardinals, only 11. Then only 10. Then 7. The game is spitting him out. The last time he had a full season was 2019. He only missed 1 game. Yep. 2020, he only played 11, 6, 11, 10. Yeah, man, the game is spitting him out, man. The game is spitting him out. He's trying to hang on. But hey, that's his right. But if you're not putting in quality time and you're not getting quality minutes, I ain't mad at him. But I hope guys like that, like I said, just like Jason Kelce, I hope he can walk away rather than the game spits you out, rather than, they're carting you off the field. Like, look at what happened to Greenlaw, Dre Greenlaw. There's no guarantee that Dre Greenlaw is going to come back and be the same type player he was last year. He's going to be just as fast, just as explosive. There's no guarantee. There's no guarantee that Aaron Rodgers is going to come back next year and be the same Aaron Rodgers. There's no guarantee. He could hurt his other Achilles. You just never know. You saw what happened with Joe Burrow. Joe Burrow wasn't even doing nothing. He was warming up and walking, and somehow his calf got jacked up. He wasn't even doing anything. Joey Burrow, Greenlaw, those 2 injuries right there, man, that's the type of stuff that scares you because nobody touched him. Dre Greenlaw, we used to joke like that. Like if you were in a running race and you pulled a hamstring or something like that, we would always say, the invisible sniper was sitting back 100 yards and he clipped you. Listen, that's exactly what Greenlaw looked like. He took 2 steps and just went down in a heap. And you knew exactly what it was as soon as you saw it because everybody stopped. Everybody stopped. When you have injuries like that, that's brutal. The worst injury I've ever seen personally It wasn't even a player. It was my first year in the World League. This was 96. We were in Carrollton, Georgia. We were in a scrimmage. I don't remember who we was scrimmaging. But it was a live scrimmage, had refs, all of that kind of stuff, right? Tackle comes on the sideline. Ref gets caught up on the tackle. And literally, it sounded like somebody fired a shotgun into a pillow. You heard a very loud, muffled pop. And the dude broke his leg. The tackle hit him a certain way, and it hit that leg. And I think it was his femur. Like, I don't think it was his lower leg. I think it was his upper leg. And I just remember everybody heard it, and everybody around that area just like, ooh, and everybody just ran away. It was like, you know, when you dropped a little droplet of soap into the dirty water, and the water just goes, whoo. That's what it looked like. And they carted that referee off. That's the worst injury that I've ever seen personally. Wasn't even a player. But that was scary because you heard it. Everybody heard it. It was loud. So, but yeah, man, you gotta. I'm hoping guys walk away, so they don't get carried off, man. That's it. That's it. I've been lucky enough. All my years of football, never broke anything, never tore anything. The worst thing that ever happened to me was I had a very deep bone bruise my junior year. I think I ended up missing like 4 or 5 games. Man, if I'd have stayed healthy my junior year, I would still have all them rushing records. I probably would have had about 6,000 yards for a career when it was all said and done. I was trending in that direction. But yeah, Theismann X-Man. Everybody talks about Theismann. That's the de facto. When you talk about injuries in the NFL, Theismann is the test case. So Theismann, and then Michael Irvin, and then of course, you know, everything that these guys go through now. Because sometimes, like, I count myself lucky because I tell people, I didn't have a long career in the league. I was 93, 94, and then they drafted Charlie Garner, and I was on the chopping block. Then World League 95, 6, and 7, then in Canada, and then that was pretty much it for me. But in the big scheme of things, you know, there's a lot of punishment I didn't take because I didn't have a long career. So the only thing that kind of bothers me now is, you know, my short-term memory is trash. But other than that, and I talk to other people, and we all kind of had that thing in common. But I done talked to so many of my brothers, man, NFL guys, and they talk about when they were depressed, when they were suicidal, all of that kind of stuff. And I'm like, yo, because if you was just looking at them, and you know when teammates, you pick up right where you were, and you have no idea all of the other struggles they're going through, man. So that was enlightening for me, and because of that, I count myself lucky. That was a silver lining because I'm a running back. Every time I touch the ball, folks is coming for my head. You know what I'm saying? So, yeah, LT. But I see X-Men LT. Yeah, he was on another planet. But yeah, I played with Wes Hopkins. I was teammates with Andre Waters. Both of them jokers are gone for the same reason. So I count myself lucky, man. Absolutely. Absolutely. So, but yeah, man, I didn't want to make it too dark. But yeah, everybody ready, man. I want to see Hassan Reddick back here. Please make that happen, Howie. Find a way to make it happen. Find a way to make it happen, man. I hate to see when guys like Hassan Reddick kind of remind me of myself. Really good player, doesn't talk much. Hey, Mom. My mom says she finally getting out the limo. All right, Mom. Better late than never. But Yeah, like guys like Hassan Reddick remind me of myself because don't talk a lot of smack. I know he does a little thumbs up, thumbs down, but you know, he ain't standing over you every play, and he ain't that dude. He just gets in there and plays. He grinds. He gonna hustle. He ain't gonna complain. He's that type of guy, and I love to see when guys like that get what they deserve. And because of that, I want Hassan Reddick to be here, to stay in Philadelphia and finish his career off here. Another homeboy right over here in South Jersey, and let him stay right here from home. Him and DeAndre Swift, man. So we don't get that often. So I wish we could cultivate that, but it is what it is. So, but yeah, man, he'll be fine. We're gonna make it happen. So, but yeah, man, we are out on Avonte Maddox. We are out on Kevin Byard. Avonte Maddox was a $9.6 million cap hit. Kevin Byard was a $13 million cap hit. And I think Byard, I kind of wanted to keep Byard. Like, he didn't really show me anything. He wasn't back to that all-pro level, but I didn't expect him to be. But I think Byard was a victim of the nonsense that was going on in our defense. I think if Byard were to play this year under Fangio, I think he would be a much better player. I think he would be closer to what we expected, but we whiffed on Shaq Leonard, but we threw a dart in the dark. We were struggling at linebackers. Zach Cunningham and Moreau just, after a while, they couldn't get it done. Devontae gets that $22 million. Yeah. I tell you what, man, it's going to be interesting because I don't think it's going to be as difficult as it was when we got to take care of Devontae Smith because he's not going anywhere. And we're going to try to take care of A.J. Brown. Although part of me thinks that they might try to let A.J. Brown walk. I don't know. I'm talking about when his contract is up. Because I don't expect his level of play to go down. So if he wants to stay, I think he'll be here. I think we got something special with Devontae, AJ, and Jalen all gelling together. Then you put Dallas Goedert out there. That's another person that we don't talk about enough. Dallas Goedert. What is Kellen Moore going to do with Dallas Goedert, man? We got Dallas Goedert and Albert O. I am a huge fan of Albert O. When a kid like that, he's got that type of talent. He got like Antonio Gates type talent, in my opinion. We just gotta figure out a way to get him on the field. He's not as big as Gates, but he's athletic like that. Can contort his body and get them paws up and take the ball out of the air. So I am hoping that we can find a way to use him. You know what I mean? So I don't want to see no more guys like that go to waste. I hate seeing good talent. And let me be honest with you. You guys have heard me say this before. Maybe you haven't, but I'll say it anyways. And I'll explain what I mean. When we had J.J. Arcega-Whiteside, folks used to kill him because he just didn't have no heart. And I agree. But what he did have was a 6'3" frame and two parents who were Olympians. And I know that kid could jump out of the gym. He had to be strong because they moved him to tight end. So he had to have some type of skill there. So all I'm saying is, big slot. No, don't even tease me like that, bro. Don't even tease me like that. I don't care where they put him. Just use him. But what I was saying with J.J. Arcega-Whiteside, J.J., when you got somebody that big, when you got somebody that can jump like that, just use them. Just use them. Bill Belichick was a master at giving people one job. Edelman, you got one job. Your job is to go across that middle and catch that ball. And after you catch that ball, I need you to break at least one tackle. You got one job. J.J. could have did that. Throw the ball back shoulder pass, throw it up high. So if you're going to catch this ball, you better go up like you dunking with two hands. So I'm a big proponent of they might not be the best player or whatever, but you can figure out find that one thing that they can do. They don't have to be a every down player. Find that one thing that they can do and figure out a way to use it. So I want to see what they're going to do with Albert O. I'm a fan of his. So I want to see. I would love for them to put him at big slot, but they were supposed to do that with Julio Jones. He got out there a few times, but again, it was a gimmick rather than a need. Not even a need, just like find a way to use them. Find a way to use them. And that's when being creative means so much. And I think this year will be, hopefully, let me say it like that, hopefully, we'll be, looking at Kellen Moore exasperated, talking about, man, if we could have did this last year, if we could have had this offense last year, we could have went to the Super Bowl. I want to have those type of conversations again. I want to be mad because we wasn't doing this stuff last year and be complaining because of what it could have been. That's where I think our offense has a chance to be with Kellen Moore, because just for nothing else, he's going to be a little bit more creative with what we have, and I'm good with that. So I've always questioned if the Eagles coaches really get the most out of their players. Where is the player development aside from Stout? I don't. You're gonna have hit and miss everywhere, and you got to remember we're doing pretty good. We got Brandon Graham, Jason Kelce just retired. They started and stayed here. That's why Brandon Graham doesn't want to go nowhere. We got Fletch, Reed Blankenship. We let what's the linebacker that went to Chicago? TJ Edwards. We let him walk. We shouldn't have. He was somebody that we got and had been with us for a while, and then basically he just priced himself right out of the market. And that is the stuff I will blame on Howie, not taking care of the players that we drafted. In one organization, like, let him get his payday, man. And he was one of the best linebackers in the league. And because he didn't go to a big school or because he wasn't a high draft pick, it's like they got this fictional value of him. It's like, dude, watch the film, man. Damn, watch the film. That's my only gripe with Howie. Luckily, the last couple of years, with what he's done with the Georgia initiative, all the players we got from Georgia, everybody we got from the SEC, it looks like that mindset has turned around a little bit. And that's what I want to see. That's exactly what I want to see. I don't want to take no more gambles when we don't have to. When clearly you have a better player available. How many times did we do this and we pass on people because that's not who we wanted? And no. Like, get these studs that everybody and their mama knows that this dude is a stud. If by some way, shape, or form, Marvin Harrison Jr. falls all the way to us, find a way to make a trade with somebody and get something, make something happen, because he's that dude. They did it last year with Jalen Carter. We got lucky with that because everybody wasn't reading the tea leaves. Big shout out to Big Dom, because that was Big Dom's pick right there. Big Dom went down there, did his investigation, found out what was really going on, and let the Eagles know he was comfortable with getting that kid. That's why we got him. People talk crap on Big Dom. That's what Big Dom does, the head of security. He sniffs out all of the nonsense and can tell you what is and what isn't. And he gives you the real. Big Dom is the guy that keeps it 100 with you. So, and it's funny because Dom is one of them guys, everybody in the league knows him. And I would imagine everybody in the league could probably vouch for him being a good guy and all that kind of stuff. So, we got we're gonna be okay. I want to see, maybe we'll get a cornerback. I'm not putting too much stock in getting Edgerrin Cooper or Jeremiah Trotter Jr. If I had my druthers on one of those two, I would rather have Trot. No. I take that back. I would rather have Edgerrin Cooper for the simple fact that Edgerrin Cooper is a little bit bigger. Edgerrin Cooper is 6'2". 6'2". So he's bigger. (6'3). He is 6'3". So he is could be a true Mike Backer, or if you want to put him on the outside, whatever you want to do. He's fast. 4'5", 140 at what's his weight? 230, 4'5", 1. If you are 220 and above and you run a low 4'5", that is excellent. Because what that tells me is if he is truly 230, if he would drop down to like 220, 225, he would probably be running 4'4". But that's too light for a linebacker. So I like him at 230. He can bring a little bit of a weight with him. He's not going to always lose the battle of physics. That's my problem with Nolan Smith right now. Nolan Smith, I think, is just too light. I think Nolan Smith, to me, Nolan Smith looks like he's about the size of Willie T when my boy T was still playing. T would be anywhere between 225 and 235. But T was fast as lightning. And Nolan Smith does not look like he brings enough weight when you got them big old offensive tackles. Now, if he lined up against a tight end, he might be able to do some things. But when them offensive tackles get their hands on you, you can cancel Christmas, man. So, what's up, Justin? Watch the film, copycat, and execute. There you go. There you go. Who was that? Let me see. This thing is not working. Who's that? Dave Gates was saying Chop Robinson. Yo, Chop Robinson, that dude put on a show. He put on a show at the combine. So, yeah, man, a lot of those guys, man, there's a lot of good talent on defense in the draft. Let's see what we're going to do. I want to see what Howie's going to do. But, yeah, I like Chop Robinson. Steel Chambers from Ohio State. I like him. Nate Wiggins. Yeah. And Nate Wiggins is a little bit taller. I'm leaning more towards the 6 foot and 6'1" cornerbacks because I'm over the short, fast guys. I need somebody with some length. That's why I like Bradbury. Bradbury is what, 6'1"? Slay is 6'2". And people don't give credit, even this year, man. People did not, and still don't. People do not give Slay credit for being as fast as he is. They do not give him enough credit for that. I am totally comfortable with Slay coming back and having a good year next year. The only thing is, Vic Fangio, if you're listening, brother, put that defense through some tackling drills, please and thank you. Because our tackling was hot garbage. He looks like Myles Garrett and Micah Parsons. Who are you talking about? Which one are you talking about? Nolan Smith? Is looking like Myles Garrett? I don't know about that yet. He's Chop. I got you. Okay. That makes sense. Yeah. Remains to be seen though. he had a good workout. He's got good film. But it's a whole nother ball game when you get up here. That's why what's his name was so impressive towards the until the end of the year. Jalen Carter. Jalen Carter was doing that against grown men, and he was making everybody stand up and take notice. And because of that screwed up defense, that caught Matt Patricia and Sean Desai cost Jalen Carter Rookie of the Year, Defensive Rookie of the Year. They cost him that award with all of the nonsense we were doing towards the end of the year. Screwed him up. And you look at all of them fast 40 times. You look at what Chop did. Seeing what Chop Robinson did, right? And running that 40. And who's the other guy? What was the kid, the redheaded kid? He was one of the first ones that ran. He ran like a 4.58 at like 3:03 or something like that. Defensive tackle. But when I saw those guys run those times, that made me appreciate Jordan Davis that much more. Y'all got to remember, Jordan Davis ran a 4.78 at 340 pounds, man. It's running backs that was running 4.7. You understand what I'm saying? At 340-something pounds, and you under 5 flat, that is incredible. So we got to start giving, like, Jordan, he's got to keep his weight down so he can last longer, because when you can tell during the season when his cardio was at its peak. He had hit that level and everything was working. His cardio, he was getting snaps. It was all good until it wasn't. Cody, I would guess that it is somebody's probably calling about him, but Cowboys they got enough trouble as it is. I'm gonna do another video. I'm gonna do another episode maybe next couple of weeks about this whole social media thing and how it's getting played out and the way the Cowboys are looking. Everything that happened with AJ Brown this year, and just the whole landscape of social media and the way it's working, and people don't understand how. I think today's players, because of social media, they take for granted how much focus it takes to play this game. How easy it is to get distracted when you play this game. And on top of all of that, because of social media, a lot of these athletes are creating their own distractions. CeeDee Lamb and Micah Parsons' brother, mama, whoever, they all jumping on social media. You saw what the trouble that Patrick Mahomes had with his little brother Jackson. That dude is just an idiot. But like, the one thing that people got to realize, if when Jackson Mahomes gets in trouble, they don't call him Jackson Mahomes. They say Patrick Mahomes' little brother. When Patrick Mahomes Sr. got the DUI, Patrick Mahomes' dad busted for DUI. CeeDee Lamb's brother, CeeDee Lamb's mother, Micah Parsons' brother. That's the way they do it. They're going to associate it with that player automatically, and it's going to cause nothing but problems. Tyreek Hill doing what he's doing down in Miami. Somebody said that he getting divorced. Well, no, I'm not getting divorced, but my house is burning down, and creating their own distractions. So, you got to be careful. Got to be careful. It's too easy these days. Very easy these days, man. But you just got to keep your focus. Everybody's got to go through what they got to go through, man. You got to come out on the other side. But these days, man, you have to be smarter than the average bear, period. So, but, yeah, man, I'm going to get up out of here. I'm going to get something to eat. I'm hungry. All right. I appreciate you guys joining me. I know there were some things switched around, but this will be my new home going forward. I'm going to put out, I think I'm going to put out a video, make it like a YouTube short, and it's just strictly going to be like my weekly schedule, so everybody can be on the same page. If you guys didn't know, every Monday, Wednesday, and Friday, from 12:10 p.m. to 12:50 p.m., I do live at lunch. And all I do is I jump on and talk about whatever's going on in the news. And I go from 12:10 to 12:50, so you got plenty of time to eat your lunch. And I'll be done before you have to clock back into work or get back to the office or whatever. So, and it's like 45, 50 minutes. That's plenty enough time to go over what we need to go over. Monday, Wednesday, Friday, starting at 12:10 p.m. 12:10 at noon. All right. So I'm trying to get a more reliable schedule. This has always been, I'm not with A2D Radio anymore, so I'm kind of on my own thing. Big shout out to A2D Radio because they hooked me up, and I appreciate them, Tom, and my boy Chucks and Pete and all them guys. I still support them and still watch them. But I will be here going forward. I appreciate everybody that was here. Looks like we had about 45, 50 at one point. I'm going to get my Instagram live stuff together. I got to figure out how to do that. If not, I will just put a phone on and do like I'm doing. So it's all good. But yeah, do me a favor. I'll be back here next Thursday, same time. Bring somebody with you. Bring somebody with you. Share the stream so we can continue to grow, man. We getting it done. I will talk to you guys next week. I appreciate you, and I'll see you in the next one.